is English. They have, hey, good morning, Gail.
Morning. Good morning.
Yeah, and they have Coast Guard VHF channel 16 available, but they also have HF 2182 kilohertz, which is old Marine emergency communications a la the days of Titanic and stuff. And they've got two big, huge HF whip antennas on the ship, which surprised me. Besides, I don't know what Sat C is, but they've got that. Navtex, they've got an air band which they use, EPIRBs and SART, whatever the heck that is. But they are required to have all of that, and they also have to, not only do they have to have it, they have to test it periodically. So there you go.
Yeah. And they also have the AIS, right?
Yes,
Yeah, and that's their location beacon.
yes. And I found their black box, which is up on a post on top of by the bridge that records GPS location, speed, heading, and all that stuff. And so that if the ship goes down, it's at the top of the pile, so to
Oh,
speak. So
all right.
It's shallow
yeah,
water, then it's out of the water.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was very interesting. It was long enough that it was interesting, yet I was ready to be home.
Yes.
Now, what ship was this, or is it?
We went down um on the 22nd of December to Fort Lauderdale, and we took the Island Princess down. It went down to towards Cuba and then around Cuba to the island of Aruba.
Okay.
And then from there went down to and through the Panama Canal, which is an eye opener. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's going on down there is amazing. And then back around to Costa Rica and one other spot, and then up to Puerto Vallarta, and then back up to Fort Lauderdale, or not back up to Long Beach.
Okay.
Have they opened the new canal yet?
Yes. Yeah. You have no idea the monetary games that are being played. If you show up there with a container ship, you have to, first off, you have to pay the by the weight of the ship. That's number one. And then they figure out how much you weigh, and then they charge you for that. And then they charge you by what day of the week you want to go through. They charge you by what time of day you want to go through. They also charge you by when you made advanced reservation for being able to go through. I mean, it's like they charge you for every little thing they can find. And if you're going through the big locks as opposed to the small locks, there is another surcharge on top of that. Some of those big Panamex container ships pay upwards of $3 million to go through.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And believe it or not, there is a port on either end of the canal, with all the big container cranes and the pier and all this kind of stuff. And many of the container companies will actually sail into that port, offload all their containers, they put them on a train, and they run them over to the other entrance to the port on the Atlantic side, or vice versa, and to the other port that's over there, and put them on another ship and then sail it. They will not sail the ship through the canal because it eliminates all that surcharge.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs for the train, but and the people that control those ports are China.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So now you know why the big fuss. I mean, but it's a massive ripoff. Um, it's like buying a car and they charge you by the weight of the car, and then they surcharge you if you want a motor, and then they give you another surcharge depending on what size motor you want, and another surcharge if you want it gas or if you want it electric, and a surcharge for the wheels, and a surcharge if you want a steering wheel, and I mean they just oh, you pay a surcharge if you have a pilot come on board your ship. And yes, it's required. You must have a pilot. So
Hmm.
you have to pay
Yeah.
for the pilot. And then you pay hourly by how long he's on the ship, which is the entire time you transit the canal.
Good
Yeah.
morning, John.
What?
Said
Morning,
good morning,
John.
John.
Yeah.
Face I haven't seen in
Saying
a
good
long
morning.
time.
Yeah, good morning.
I don't have my best voice. I went to CES, Consumer Electronics Show, and
Oh,
caught a cold. But I'm here to offer my support and say hi. And yeah, the Panama Canal is amazing.
yeah.
Uh,
Yes. I, I
Yeah.
I will say this much for 1910 and not having any computers and all this kind of stuff, the ingenious in ideas of how that thing was came about and how they overcame a lot of the problems. I mean, it uses no pumps. There are no water pump. The whole thing is all dynamic water flow with manual valves. It's amazing. I mean, what they came up with back then was just sheer genius.
Yeah. That's
So,
great.
all
Okay.
right,
Okay. I got
I'm done preaching.
no problem. That was good. Um, yeah, I have a short list, so it won't take too long. Um, but I guess first start off with the KR6JE repeater system. Any changes or updates?
No, but soon to be. One of the problems that we have right now with our comm down to Williams Hill is if you're down at Williams Hill and you're listening to the 443.8 repeater down there, anything coming from the north end sounds beautiful, crystal clear, excellent. Okay. The problem is what we hear up on the JE end, which is it's nothing more than an FM radio, and we're taking speaker audio and dumping it into the controller. What I am working on with Keith is he has another Motorola UHF radio that has a pre-emphasis audio output, okay, which is what we need because it has a higher end response and so it has more clarity to it. So he is working on getting that radio out of mothballs or whatever. And I'm glad you mentioned it because it reminds me that when I got back, I was supposed to talk to him about it. And he's going to reconfigure that exactly the way our radio is working up there now. And then we're going to swap them out. So what will be happening is our audio from the Williams Hill to the other part of the system is going to be clearer. So that
Okay.
that's that is coming. Um, I don't know if I reported this the last time or not, but we now have a Cat 6 Ethernet cable that is connected up to the KSBW router up there in their control room and is run through the cableways and is now hanging in front of our repeater rack such that we have anytime we want it 500 megabit per second up and down internet connectivity free of charge.
Wow, great.
So we're working on ideas, and I should mention that one of the ideas that Liam and I are working on right now is a way to take can't think of the name again. I keep blanking out on this. There is an internet connection system nowadays that everybody is using. All Star, that's it, All Star. We are working on setting up some kind of an All Star node to the controller up on Fremont Peak and giving the Monterey County OES office the ability to click on they can go to our KR6JE website as a concept, click on a link, and they will be able to listen, not transmit, but listen to our network and hear any um, communications that might be coming up from, say, Fort Hunter Liggett down in Williams Hill. So they will be able to listen on their own to find out if somebody is calling them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And at the same time, we're working with two of the civilian security guys down there who are working on getting their ham licenses. So
Yeah.
that is all in the works.
Great.
Okay.
Good.
Have you ever
Anybody
mowed
else
the,
have any questions or go ahead, Jim?
yeah, Bob, did they ever mow the weeds around the propane tanks?
No. And Alan is actually talking about taking some guys up there and doing it themselves. The problem is it's inside the compound fence,
Yeah.
which is considered secure. Alan, I see you just joined. You might want to go ahead and feed in on this. What's
I don't have
happening?
any other information. I was going to take a drive up there, see what's going on. I've been getting some emails from some 400 Liggett people for invites to some social community outreaching. I might pop in on one of those so I can start doing some meet and greets with some of those people
Yeah.
and maybe, rub elbows with somebody to find out if we can talk to the right person.
Well, depending on how much, security stuff is going on up there, which I know has expanded, it's to their advantage to do it because, if all that stuff burns on the outside there, including the three propane tanks going boom, they're going to lose gear inside that building, even though it's a concrete block. It will basically cook it, just like it's done to several other sites. So, I mean, those propane tanks are completely surrounded, or at least they were when we were up there last, completely surrounded in chaparral type vegetation.
Yeah.
So, wouldn't take much to lose that entire hill's function.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The next thing I was able to do after the holidays here, I finally got in and looked at the ops plan. I created a draft 2 version and went through some of my old notes. This was originally started when Pat Moore was working and we were collaborating on this thing. And that was back in 2019, 2018 era. So, but there were some changes that I had already made. And actually, it was Jim that brought up a couple things that were incorporated. And then, so I just went through it again and found some grammar things and that type of thing. So I'm almost ready to send that out to let people take a look at it and see if there's any more changes before we finalize it. And then I did the same thing with the training plan. Started going through that one. I didn't get all the way through that yet, but once that's done, then I'll go in through and start doing the training modules. There's 6 training modules that go into more detail. And so those will be nice. And these are all focused on races. the racing side. Um, and so there's a lot of different things. It starts there. It's very basic training, and so it'll, especially with if we have any new hams, will definitely be worthwhile to get through that. So it'll be kind of like a going for your tech license and learning all this stuff. But then this kind of fills in some of that too. So that'll be good. Let's see.
Hey, Dale.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Um, does that training plan assume that you're going to be getting, I mean, is that the kind of thing you would put in the hands, excuse me, of SUVs, or is this something that's got to be done beforehand?
Well, this would be beforehand.
Okay. Well, you know they're going to come out of the woodwork
Oh,
if
yeah.
something happens. Of course, that
Yeah.
assumes that even DEM is going to pay attention to you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and that would be a whole nother bailiwick, because there is a mention of things that there's the vetted part where those people would be in the EOC, but then there's others that wouldn't necessarily need all those requirements to go to other sites that would be kind of standalone, like for a crossband repeater somewhere or something like that.
Have you even had any contact with DEM?
No, nothing. I send a
Because-
periodic report to them, email them, and then yeah, it's all crickets. So, but
Do you know if they're using the state shares system?
I think they are.
So
'Cause they were talking about-
they may be thinking that they have that, they don't need you. That may be why there's crickets.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they are. The shares, no, they're not even thinking about that stuff. And I actually, it was the beginning of last year, I believe it was, Humboldt County was doing a big exercise that they were testing their shares systems and radios and trying to get everybody involved to do that. I was kind of just linked onto that just to be able to find more information about the whole program and everything. And so they had all these documents and stuff listed in their Google Shares thing. And so I was able to get some of that information and figure out who to contact and all that stuff. I sent that all to Justin, and nothing.
Well, the reason I say that is I know Santa Clara County is pushing huge push because of the Super Bowl and the World
Yes.
Cup.
Yeah.
They have been pushing forward strongly on it.
Yes.
But they don't have this misconception that it replaces the
Yeah.
folks. So,
And the
okay,
nice
just thought
thing
I'd
with
ask.
that, yeah, the nice thing with that is it doesn't require a ham radio license.
Correct.
And so any of the staff members or anybody could use a radio is eligible to actually use the system. And it's all using WinLink also. So, and so they said once you send a message and once it hits I believe it's the federal servers, then everything's encrypted. So, pretty interesting. But then there's other parts of that. What is it? The HSIS or HS something. There's another federal component on that where you
Homeland
have to
Security
log
side.
in. What was that?
The Homeland Security side.
Yes. And so you have to have another login in order to get through that and get set up. So, and there's supposed to be training happen statewide somewhere, but I haven't found anything yet.
I'll reach out to Tim.
There's a Oxcom nonprofit that does some of the training for that, but it's all back east.
I'll reach out to Tim.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't know if he's doing anything. And that reminds me, I need to Tim asked me to send out an email for Sea Otter Classic. It's that time of year again.
Okay, different Tim.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'll reach out to Tim Howard and
Okay.
find out exactly what they do because I know they've been training on it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Oh, all right, I'll find out.
One of the other things I've been looking at is this Meshtastic and Meshcore stuff. And so it's kind of the latest little, it's essentially texting using devices to be able to text messages on radio frequencies on 915 megahertz. And so I was looking at some of the information, and then there was somebody at Embara that shared some links to some mapping. That's kind of my background. And so I was looking at some of the maps, and then lo and behold, here's Liam's house with a, I think he's got a repeater up there or a node of some sort. So I was going to ask him here. I think Liam and Bill, they're at a CERT training today, so they weren't going to. He mentioned they wouldn't be here on the meeting, but so I'll find out more information about that. And I know they were talking about putting up some nodes over at the Embara site, N6IJ, but I wasn't sure if they had done that yet. So any questions at this point? That is all I got. Nice seeing
Gail?
everybody. Yes, go ahead.
I have two items for you, just to bring everybody up to speed. As you knew, I made contact with the emergency coordinator for Memorial Hospital within the
Okay.
last 30 days. He no longer works there, and I was given to somebody else. I was
Okay.
working with Liam to set a date to go have the radio reprogrammed with, to drop the KC6 ERT and get it brought up to
Right.
the ARES RACES radio plan. So I'll get back with Liam now that we're after the first of the year.
Okay.
But this is just to emphasize, the minute you get somebody's name on a piece of paper, they're changing.
Yeah.
In conversation in the city of King, they were working on their emergency operations plan, and I guess they're bringing core groups of people within their community to be part of that. And I mentioned that I'm part of ARES RACES and I'm part of the communications. So the city manager, after I emailed him, I think I CC'd you, Gail,
Yeah.
he's reached out, but he's currently going to retire. So we'll have to re-educate them all over again.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
why I was working on a PowerPoint of something so we can go to maybe some of these meetings or smaller groups to go and explain to some of these city officials and different organizations why amateur radio is important,
Yeah.
why we have ARES and RACES, and why we can communicate. Another case in point yesterday, Spectrum was down from Watsonville, Gilroy, all the way to King City. I had no internet, no hardline, and
Yep.
I don't know if it affected their cell coverage or not, but I also think AT&T was down as well, part of that. I've never, they never tell you why it goes down. Did somebody
No.
cut a fiber optic line? What happened? But it was down for probably a good almost 12 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
Did not affect cellular.
Oh, it did not. Okay, but it did affect cable TV and internet and hardline phones. So just another point of case study of a lot of because even I saw the city of King City Police Department. If you have an emergency, please call the non-emergency line, which goes to county comm, but don't
Yeah.
call the office because they're on a Spectrum hard
Right.
line coming into
Yeah.
their office. So,
Yeah.
Even these governmental agencies are losing communication because of the infrastructure.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Alan, you were talking about that document and people changing names. That's where it gets the nickname of being a living, breathing document.
Exactly.
You want to shoot it and put it out of its misery.
Right.
when I worked at corrections, I don't know how many times I would do call out cards, laminate them, get them all out. And the minute you get them out, somebody's made a change. So
Yeah.
Yep.
it's a work in progress. But again, that's one of my goals is to start doing that. Try to make some contact with some of these people again and start re-educating them, because again, like Memorial Hospital's radio sitting in a back room of the hospital, and the coax cable, I don't know where it's at now because they just did some remodel, was underneath the receptionist's desk in the front lobby of the hospital.
Yeah.
So, but I bet you 99.9% of the staff members at the hospital don't even know why this even exists.
Yeah.
And then just a food for thought. I work for the mortuary part-time. I was standing in the back hallway at Natividad Medical Center, and I'm standing there waiting, and I read the wall. It says ARES Racy's room back there on the back dock of the Natividad Medical Center. So there's a closet back there, back by the back door, by the paint shop and some other stuff. That is a ARES Racy's room. I don't know what's inside that room because I just see the door placard.
Okay. Well,
You
great.
know who might be able to tell you? Might be able to tell you, it'd be John Greathouse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
those are just things like that we need to be out there and know what the security protocols is to get into these hospitals if we
Right.
need to. I don't know if you're all aware, there was something passed that all hospitals are also going to metal detectors.
Yeah.
So there's another layer of security you might. I know Salinas Valley Health has a metal detector, and a couple others are already getting metal detectors in place to get into the hospital.
Yeah.
Watsonville Hospital is doing that too now. You have to get you have to get screened to get in the door.
Yeah.
And here we are coming in with a suitcase with screwdrivers and radios and a pocket knife.
However, there is one way to get in. If you get on a gurney and go in through the ambulance entrance door, you can get in, no questions asked.
Right. Yeah.
But those are just, I think, some hurdles that we need to walk through and have in our
Oh.
processes of how do we get into these facilities. If Bob
Yeah.
needs me to go up to Watsonville, how do I get into that facility?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I might
definitely.
add on a regular basis too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been talking to our health department, their emergency coordinator there that oversees the hospitals. And so talking about how we do that and any protocols we'd have to go through to get even just check the radio. So I was able to visit Salinas Valley Memorials that one time. They made the request to the health department, and then they contacted me. So that was nice to see that worked. And so I got their radio updated. But as far as everybody else's, I'm not sure of. So any other questions or comments? So
Winter Field Day is next weekend.
What was that?
Winter Field Day starts next weekend, Saturday and
That's
Sunday.
right. So are they going to do something over at N6IJ?
There was some hims and haws, and I threw out an email or text the other day, and I haven't heard any responses back, so
Yeah.
I don't know. So if there is, I will let the rest of this team know as well through Groups.io.
Yeah, okay. Because I think they're mainly focused on their first class.
There's that. What I think, like Liam talked, we don't have to do the whole, doing it for points or any of that stuff, but just bringing our stuff, setting up a pop-up tent and a folding table, and
Yes.
just going through the system deployment and getting
Yes.
on the air. How does that look?
Yes.
So it's not about anything else, but doing the first responder rollout and setting up is important.
Yes. Yeah, good idea.
Excellent.
So I might just grab my 2-meter and get on Fremont Peak on that day. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good. Great. Anything else? So this is going to be another record, I think. So that's all I have. So the sun's coming out real nice. So everybody can have a good weekend. And till next time, I'll send these documents out as I get them completed, and then we'll go through them all and try to get them finalized. So that's all I have. And everybody have a good weekend, and I'll see you next month.
Yeah, just real quick, Bob, do we know a date of our annual meeting for Fremont Peak?
It has not been decided yet because there's a lot of people that have been putting in input that when they're going to be available and not. I got to sit there and kind of like put them all out
Puzzle
on a
together.
puzzle on the table and come up on, and then just put my finger down and pick one. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to have it before the end of the month, but we'll see what day it is. It may be a weekday evening. I don't know.
That works good for me, Bob. There's only 52 weekends in a year, and we're already down 3 of them.
All right.
Hey,
Right.
Bob, I suggested dartboard or maybe even a Ouija board.
Right.
Yeah, you mean like the obstetricians use for figuring out a delivery date?
Right.
Oh, that's
Hey,
even wilder. No, that doesn't
yeah, they take
fall
a
into the
bunch of
realm of Ouija board.
information and they put up a calendar on the wall, then they throw a dart at it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank